Okay, so you want to lose weight. You're finally done being the weight or being the person or being the size that you've been. Now, of course, for most people looking to lose weight, they've tried this before, right? They've tried and they have, if they're still looking to lose weight, failed, right? I've been there. Maybe you watching have been there. And recognizing that something has to be different this go around is very important. So if you've done past things and they did not work, to then immediately, or they were not sustained, it's important to consider what went wrong, right? To analyze. I think that's such a crucial aspect. When you're looking to lose weight and you've tried before, what didn't work? What did work? And how can this be different? And it all starts within you. It all starts within you. So before, and of course, nutrition, right? Everything is, everything works together. Everything is connected. The universe is connected. So, of course, the nutrition and the training is going to impact your mind. And without having quality health, it is tough to have a really quality mindset to accomplish your goals. And that is the crux of a lot of people in the society, is they want to get healthy, but they are so unhealthy that their mind is not in a healthy enough space to chase the goal. And that is where I hope to help, because I've been there. And that's not an easy spot. And the biggest thing is to not give up. I think that is the first step. Right now, just listening to Kevin Levrone, who's my favorite bodybuilder of all time. A lot of the inspiration, a lot of what I've learned, I talk a lot from Ray Peat, Broda Barnes, a lot of these bioenergetic folks, Kate Deering, who's a coach of mine, Danny Roddy, a lot of these people in the pro carb, pro energy, bioenergetic space. And I've learned a lot from Stan Efferding, Vertical Diet, and other great nutritionists, researchers, scientists. But bodybuilding and those bodybuilders who push themselves to the nth degree, when you push yourself to be the greatest at something, or just to be your best, right? To maximize your potential, to know you squeezed all the juice out of yourself. Sometimes a lot of the hardships you went through allow you and give you fuel to go where you want to be. So I wrote down, this was earlier, Kevin Levrone, he said, when you think your life is falling apart, it's falling in place. And it really seems simple, maybe even corny, but it's so true. I mean, I can't think of how many times I've done things or I've been in certain situations where I'm like, my life is screwed, right? Or maybe not screwed, but I'm just like, man, I don't understand what to do. I don't know my purpose. But to not give up, to have that internal, and I view it as an internal, everyone's got that spark within them, that fire, right? I always feel like it's a fire burning within me. And there's one of two things that can happen with that fire burning it with you. You either drown it, and this would happen from self-sabotage, overeating, uh, in the context of weight gain or weight loss, right? You know you're supposed to be fit. You know there's some type of purpose, whether it's to you just be a healthy father, to whether it's to have a fitness company, to whether it's you could be a better entrepreneur because you're more mentally dialed because you're healthier. Whatever it is, you know that fire, you know the real reason why you want to get, or maybe you're scared because you had high cholesterol, high blood pressure, whatever it may be. And you either ignore that and try to drown that fire out, although it never fully leaves. It just turns more from inspiration to doing something wrong and then feeling shame, which is a lower frequency than say love and gratitude and other things. Or you can feed that fire with the proper fuel. And that might be reading. A lot of the times that's really trusting your intuition, because your intuition, maybe that's your higher self speaking to you, your current self, and drowning that fire out is your lower version of yourself and hopefully your past self. So the mindset behind weight loss before you start weight loss is so critical. You have to be able to visualize what you're going to look like, what you're going to feel like, what you're going to do. Because fitness and health ideally is a catalyst for the rest of your life. So ideally, as you get fit and you get healthy, things start to improve. Now, it's not an easy decision in the aspect of fitting in this culture. Now, our culture does seem to be getting more and more hip to health, but being mindful of what you put in your body is then mindful of what your future family is going to look like, what your higher self is going to be. So it's really, really important to have discernment when considering how you may or may not fit into your current friend group or society or culture because you decide to make a different path. And sometimes initially, that path is lonely, whether it's weight loss or business or other things, reaching goals. Like when you chase goals that are true to yourself and intuition, many times, the more I learn from people successful in business or sports or the realms, it does not always seem like the smartest decision on the outside, right? The smartest decision, maybe it's go to college, or maybe it's, go to military, maybe it's go be a cop, or maybe it's go work the normal job, eat the normal food, have the pizza at the office, have the donut on Friday morning, all of those things. But when you're really aspiring to be a higher version of yourself, that discipline, that mindset, that no give up, that never give up attitude, especially in the weight loss process, which is inherently a little bit more stressful on the body, having the discipline to stick through that is super important because if you're looking to lose, say like right now for me, I'm going on a cut. I'm losing 40 pounds, whatever, 35, 40 pounds. And maybe that's going to take me 3.5, 4 months. If I just keep messing up, right? If I just keep messing up, eat some BS, whatever it may be, then that process gets longer and longer and longer and longer. And before you know it, I've been cutting for a year or two. Before you know it, somebody who's wanted to lose weight for the past 5 years, and they took a GLP or a dual agonist or maybe a triple Retta, and they still gained the weight back. Or they tried to stay on the GLP as long as they could, but eventually they had to escalate the dose higher and higher and higher. And right now they don't have one where you can be on for life, according to my understanding. So eventually the weight comes back. So rather than blunting your hunger or using drugs to do that, how can we internally reframe health and eating and all of those things? So as we go into weight loss, we also don't want to be relying purely on willpower. We want to turn this into a lifestyle, into a routine, something that is seamless. So if you have a family or if you have people around you, hopefully they are also looking to improve your health. And hopefully they are not downplaying or discouraging you from trying to be healthy. And there's always levels to this, right? Sometimes I've been somewhere and I've been somebody who's maybe committed so aggressively to goals that looking back, maybe I pushed a little bit too hard, but maybe I learned a lot of lessons that I wouldn't have learned if I didn't push it that hard. And if you really want to do something, then you have to set your life up in a way that will allow you to do something. If you're in an environment that is really disadvantageous for your health goals, of course, it starts internally and it starts, whether it's meditation or prayer, but realizing that you can get out of that environment. And maybe if you can't change it tomorrow, then you've got to change your inner environment, your inner self, and take time to really think about what you want to do. There's so much fluff, when we're looking to lose weight, we feel like we have fluff on our body, right? We feel like we have a little bit of weight. We feel like we've got a little extra on the chin. We've got a little extra on the cheek. We've got a little extra on the hip, or maybe a lot extra. Man, my love handles like rolling over my side. I got to wear loose shirts. I got to pull it off of me. Whatever it may be, I can't bend down all the way without my shirt coming up. I feel like whatever. I got to get some fitting clothes, but I don't want to buy new clothes because I don't want to accept the fact that I'm heavier. And that's sometimes part of the initial process. But recognizing that making a change is if it's within your heart and it truly is what you need to do, then really setting your mind to it and understanding that this is not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. And hopefully at least the strategy I try to employ with many clients, is it can be a lot easier. It can be a lot more joyful than maybe what is um, portrayed online. In what regard, Jack? Well, when we get to weight loss and we visualize and we understand, okay, we want to lose 40 to 50, 50, 60, 70, whatever pounds, 10 to 100, anywhere in between. It is not going to happen overnight, right? Of course, you can cut carbs. You hold 4 grams of water for every gram of carbs. So inherently, if you cut carbs, you will lose water, you will lose weight. Did you lose body fat? Did you stress cortisol? Did you downregulate testosterone, thyroid, which really regulate metabolism? Probably. So my approach that I like to take with people is, of course, mentally, there's a reason, there's a why behind it, right? We need a deep rooted why. So when I see you didn't input your weight for 4 days, or you didn't, whatever, send me your check-in, or whatever's going on, hey, you said you felt like this and you have 2 kids. Do you want to feel like this? No. Okay. Well, then let's continue moving forward in a way that fits with your lifestyle. Might not be the easiest, because obviously the easiest lifestyle is just eat all the processed foods, which is really easy. It's really easy not to work out. But you don't reach that maximum human potential when we're taking an easy route, do we? No. So in order to reach, our best self, and all of us are on this journey, and all of us are consistently, at least for me and everyone I know, consistently working to level up. There's great, I think a great meditation I'm going to start having a lot of clients listen to, which is by Jack Moses, who helps me out behind the scenes. And it was called Levels, and I'll link it in the description here. But he talks about levels, right? And level 5 is where you're at, right? You're doing solid in life, maybe, or maybe it's been worse. So technically, yeah, you're not at the lowest level. So you're level 5. And below that, there's level 4, okay, which is maybe like a step before where you are now, which I can completely visualize my level 4. And then level 3, which is rock bottom. That's real bad. We don't want to get back there. Maybe you see glimpses of level 4 and level 3, get into your life. Maybe that's why you can't lose weight, because you're eating extra, or you're doing whatever X, Y, and Z that's not helpful for your health. Or maybe you're just not making time for yourself. Maybe you just need to cut out an hour or two in your day schedule to get food ready and to exercise. Who knows? Everyone's different. But those are the, current level 5. Level 4 is a bit lower, maybe heavier, maybe less financially stable, maybe less mentally stable, maybe less spiritually stable. And level 3 is pretty much, it's close to rock bottom. Once again, listen to this meditation to really understand what I'm saying. But then, okay, we have level 6, which is really the disciplined self. This is really what I almost think about being on the cut, right? You're improving, you're really focused, you're making this a lifestyle, which is, of course, what weight loss we want that to be. We want it to be a new lifestyle. It's not going to be lose weight for 6 months and then back to normal life, back to not working out very often, back to eating extra, back to not really having quality foods, back to not avoiding PUFAs. We don't want to do that. So level 6, building that discipline, we're on the cut. It's happening. Level 7 is you lost, and this is the context of weight loss, but you lost the weight, you maintained it. And level 8 is like you are confident it is a lifestyle completely. You help other people. But all this to say, it is mindset, which is extremely important for weight loss. And now, what I like to always mention is what I believe, and when you're eating the right food, your mindset will improve. So I follow the philosophy of Ray Peat in the bioenergetic kind of community of people, which is not a ton, but it's a very interesting crowd where carbohydrates and really proper cellular respiration, so proper utilization of nutrients, specifically carbohydrates, and of course protein and fat, is going to allow for even more energy, for allow for even more of an abundance mindset. And from there, with proper metabolism and thyroid function, energy and joy in life will only improve. So my goal is not to help people by helping them suffer and just cheerleading them. It really is something where I have people rate hunger out of 1 to 10. Most of the time, hunger is 5 or lower for like 90% of people. And these are people losing weight primarily, well, performance athletes, but And energy is typically super high and it starts out typically moderate to low. So the weight loss process doesn't have to be one of suffering. It can be one of joy and abundance and realizing that there's so much more potential and there's so much more to learn. And I didn't lose weight this way. I lost weight in a very high stress state and eventually had to address that. And now I'm on the comeback from that, which is a blessing in itself because then I get to help people with metabolism, not only weight loss, and of course those intertwine. So when I was at a rock bottom, I was in Florida very sick. I was back in New York very sick a few months ago, and I didn't know how I could go on. I could barely take a 10-minute walk. I didn't exercise. I didn't train for months. I didn't really talk about this a lot because during the process, I didn't know what's going to happen. And I'm not here to burden anybody else. This was my journey, and that's okay. But my goal was to always get healthy again and help people. And that was the intuition. And that's what felt right. I grew up watching YouTube and learning from people who put themselves online, who shared their story, who I didn't necessarily meet or know, but I was extremely thankful for them. And I aspire to do that now. But that speaks again to what Kevin Levrone was saying. When you think your life is falling apart, it's falling in place. And for me, I thought it was falling apart. I was like, holy cow, it's falling apart. I had a good coaching business. I love helping people with weight loss, but my thyroid is an extremely unhealthy spot. My body is suffering, and my mind was murky. The water was muddy. I could not. I knew I was not giving up. I knew maybe it's like you. Maybe you just you know you're meant for more. You're meant to do more. But you're like, how the fuck do I get there? Right? That's really hard. And the first thing is, of course, faith and not giving up. And knowing that you are meant for more, you are one of the universe, you are here for a reason, and trusting that intuition. And that overconsumption many times can be a drain on you. So, of course, I've been speaking in the context of food, but there's much more to life than food and training. So it can just be, distracting yourself from your goals is once again dimming your fire within you. And you feel that in a version of shame again, or maybe fear. And maybe that's why you're avoiding those difficult tasks that you should take on. So the cool thing is for me, and I hope you can relate to this, is a lot of the most difficult things I've went through are the things that now give me purpose and I'm able to guide others through. And I aspire to one day be able to help many more people with metabolism and thyroid after learning how it impacted me for most of my life and how it impacts so many people. But that's the purpose. And once you have that purpose and keeping it top of mind is so critical. But for weight loss, right? Let's circle back and I'll end it on this, is really setting that mindset, understanding your intentions, whether it's daily affirmations or understanding what you're looking to do. And really it's not a zero-sum game. So you don't have to suffer in other parts of life to improve health. You can improve other parts of life while improving health. And of course, you do have to say no sometimes to the really processed, they call it goy slop, but this really processed, unhealthy food that is just draining your energy and health and vibration. We don't want to have that. So that can be hard sometimes to say no when you're used to saying yes to the cupcakes or other things, but you can also want in moderation, live life too. If you have a family reunion or can have a piece of cake, it's not the end of the world. So, but during the weight loss period, if you're really looking to push and change your life, sometimes it does take a little bit of a commitment to your damn word, to your damn goal. And you do have to say no to the Betty Crocker brownies. You do have to say no to the bullshit sometimes. Like you do have to just say, I'm not having ice cream tonight because I'm changing my life. And when people lose weight, I've helped some people and then like, oh man, I'm selling way better at work. I'm doing like things start to improve when health improves. And people can feel that your vibration, your life force just starts to grow. So if you're looking and thinking about losing weight, I really implore you to look within, to look why you're doing it, why the past times haven't worked, what you can do to change, what maybe you haven't addressed. And of course, for chasing goals, I think always, and I know finding a mentor is super helpful. So for me, right, I have mentors that I've worked with throughout my life, many different people, but that's how I've gotten places, whether it's mentors in football through coaches or teammates, or whether it's mentors outside in work, or whether it's mentors in coaching and through other fitness coaches. I still have mentors today because they've been through a lot of things that I've been through and learning, of course, knowledge is learning from your own mistakes, but wisdom is learning from others' mistakes and applying that to your life. So mentors can give you wisdom. So if you're looking to lose weight, a great thing to do would be finding a weight loss mentor. Doesn't have to be a coach, doesn't have to be, maybe you know enough about nutrition and you think you know enough about nutrition. I would still look up Ray Peat as a starting spot, but maybe you just need someone who's there to hold you accountable. Maybe it's just a workout partner, it's somebody like that. But of course, it's within you. But if you can learn from somebody who lost weight and their challenges and their struggles and what they wish they did better, then you can apply those to yours and hopefully your process is smoother. Just as if you want to be a doctor, maybe talking to other doctors, how they became doctors, what they studied, what they wish they studied, etc., would help you become a doctor. I would do the same with weight loss. Find a mentor, find somebody who has done it and learn from them. And that's what I would recommend. Once again, it starts within you. When you think your life is falling apart, it's falling in place. Trust your intuition, trust your higher self, go forward, and do what you know you were meant to do. So, have a great day.